Good afternoon. Alright, so I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if I get anybody to join me. I know since I've had to reschedule, that may have put some of you all back. And I do apologize for having to reschedule, but not feeling well and just not feeling live at all. Alright, so I have one watching. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all are having a blessed day today. It's really pretty out. It's cool. It's cooler than normal. But nonetheless, it's pretty out. Alright. So, kind of contemplated before I came on whether I should go ahead with the topic that I plan to talk about. So I took notes here, and I did vlog a few minutes of last night just to kind of catch you guys up and explain what happened, why I did not do this last night. But it is Friday, and Fridays are kind of like my Mondays, busy. And sometimes I don't have time to, things are not scheduled. I get interruptions at different times of the day, and it kind of upsets what's going on. And I have to move things around, but just go with the flow. So I had rescheduled this chat for now, and then I received a phone call, and that led to another phone call, and there are some callbacks involved. So ultimately, I should be the one doing the callbacks. So I have to definitely keep to a time limit today because it's Friday and we have something to that needs to be get done on Monday. And 5 or 6 people were trying to coordinate some things regarding my son, my 14-year-old. So a lot of stuff going on. And on top of that, I may get a visit. So I did get a heads up on that this morning, but I'm not completely sure. I know it won't happen Monday. If not today, it'll be Tuesday, but I'm hoping I can kind of get through this chat without being interrupted by phone or by the door. So, yeah. On another note, I think I could have scheduled this as I could have changed the topic to no more sick leave. It's been one of those mornings where you weren't feeling well. You know you weren't feeling well, but then everybody needs you and you forget that you weren't feeling well. Yeah. So I feel better than I did yesterday and the day before. I don't know if I'm completely better, but I really don't even have time to think about it. I guess that's a blessing in disguise. Hopefully, I won't get any negative intrusions in this chat. I know in the last couple, we had a couple of, yeah, intrusions. And that just gives me pause because that's definitely not what I'm about in here. And I know you all don't want that either. And if that is your MO, then this is not the chat for you at all. All right, I'm sitting here looking at two different things. There's a little bit of a delay. Um, in any case, another thing. Oops, before I actually get started. Uh-oh. What's the matter? Mm, I have the chills, which is unusual for me. I'm usually hot. Okay, whatever it is, they must have worked it out. If not, somebody will come in here. I'm one of those that does not always rush to go see what the problem is, because 9 times out of 10 they work it out before I get to them. Somebody's walking down the hall. All right. So, I just wanted to come on and talk about being disciplined, self-discipline. And find out if you all are disciplined. Do you have self-discipline? Um, for me, that kind of it speaks volumes. Self-discipline is something that is prescribed biblically. 1 Timothy 4:7, but have nothing to do with worldly fables, fit only for old women. On the other hand, discipline yourself for the purpose of godliness. Also, Hebrews 5:14, but solid food is for the mature, who because of practice have their senses trained to discern good and evil. So for me, what that means is, especially Hebrews, solid food for the mature. Self-discipline is something that many people desire. They have good intentions in doing, but it's not something for a weak person, a weak-minded person. A lot of times the perception is shallow. What somebody perceives as discipline or self-discipline is very shallow. And when you ask them, they really don't get to the meat of it. And it's a process. It's a growth, definitely. Um, when we often think of self-discipline, we think of how we act correctly. Hey, thank you for joining me. I just started and I'm looking down because I'm reading off of my notes here. So excuse me for that. But uh, yeah, when we think of discipline, self-discipline, we think of acting correctly. You know, like when you have a certain hour, a quiet hour at a regular time during each day. You think, okay, we're disciplined or we have a schedule. Excuse me. But biblically, self-discipline is not found in simply doing something, but in the thinking behind the action. The spirit of self-discipline that we have been given as sound mind leads to sound actions. Okay, so you have to think it. And an example that homeschool wise that I can give you all is when I shared that I was not buying any more curriculum. I disciplined myself. I was already disciplined because I'm very particular about purchases, just any purchase, not just school things, but purchases in general. So I'm very disciplined. And I know many are watching closely just to see, how this all pans out. Um, I said it. I had to take myself into deep thought to see if I could actually carry it out. And, if for some reason I do make any type of purchase, it would have to be something well thought out. And not to say that, oh, my discipline just went out the window. That's not it. Power of a sound mind. It makes sense when we think about it. If one mind, if our minds process the choices and decisions like a computer, realistically calculating the advantages and disadvantages of our options, would that make us highly disciplined? If we all thought like that, would our lives be better? Our sound mind would easily lead us to correct and righteous decisions, choosing to make wise monetary purchases, like for our clothing, our furniture, our homes, our material possessions, just like I just explained. Um, I see a lot of people that, going back to what people view as self-discipline and what it really means biblically. I see people out, uh, all social media platforms. Um, they talk about budgeting and um, making wise purchases and things like that, and always looking for a bargain, and just watching people from day to day and what they value, what they put value in. People are very materialistic, much so that they value things that should not even be valued. Okay. I'm trying to think of another example. You can see somebody going shopping and they're looking for furniture, and they see something and it's a couple $100, and they're saying, "Oh no, that's too much. I'm not going to pay that much." And at the same time, excuse me, I'm looking at that person physically, whether I'm in front of them or I'm looking at social media, and what I'm looking at, what I'm hearing. Okay, you're looking at furniture that you need for your household, your family. I look at your person, on your person, one person wearing $300 worth of clothes. That just says to me, you don't have that discipline. There could be 4 or 5 people in your family, and you alone are wearing $300 worth of clothes, but you don't want to make a furniture purchase that's going to benefit everybody. But you didn't have any problem buying the shirt, the pants, the shoes. I don't know. It's not, to me, that's not biblical. I'm not passing judgment against anybody at all. That's just my observation of how I'm seeing it. And 9 times out of 10, that's how that person thought. I'm just going to go and buy these clothes because I need these clothes, and not think how much money you're actually spending for that one outfit. Yes, ma'am. In the book. Oh. Well, you want to ask them to go? Or you want to go sit in the bed? No. You want to go to the living room? No. You must be sleepy. I want to sit on the lap. Oh, my goodness. Are you sure? Can you fit here? All right. Yes.
big.
You're just big. Okay. Try to sit you on my lap and read my notes. So rather invest in my definitely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Like I said, it's a growth process, and spiritually you have to be there. If you're not there spiritually, you don't have a guide really. Instead, we often focus on our love of comfort or fear or pain. What are you doing? As a as unease of making a change. Many times we make ignorant choices. We aren't making a sound decision with our minds. Like I said, we just tend to think, um, not think, you know. Let me just just go make a frivolous purchase, even if it's a dollar purchase. You know, everybody runs to the dollar spot or the Dollar Tree or what have you because they're thinking it's only a dollar. It's only a dollar really gives me pause because you end up spending $20, $40, $100 because it's only a dollar. If you are truly only spending a dollar, fine, but it doesn't work that way. And then you go back to, I need to buy this furniture. Look how much you just spent. Why didn't you buy the furniture? I don't know. I think people get a high off of shopping sometimes. Hmm. But that just goes to, oh, Shalom. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I kind of talked about, waving to you about what happened last night. I did vlog it, so I'll try to get it up sometime in the next couple days. I was not feeling well, and today is really busy, kind of like Mondays. I'm waiting for phone calls. I'm waiting for somebody at the door, and I'm trying to get through this. I really haven't had time to think about if I feel better. You know, I really wanted to title this "No More Sick Leave" because I'm out of sick leave. I got up today, the kids, the phone, just everything, and so I didn't have to think. But I do feel better than I did last night and the day before. I can't say that. So hopefully, yeah. The Holy Spirit imparts us with a sound mind, and that Holy Spirit counsels us with the, it's like, what are you doing? Turn this page with the, I write neat, but my writing is horrible. With the implication of, of what we are contemplating as well. That same Holy Spirit can give us sound mind in other areas of our life where we need discipline. We consciously remember the effect of our small choices or our goals, and we need to understand the benefits and the drawbacks of our options. We live with self discipline because we think with self discipline. Okay, so it's not only the things that we do right that we can contribute to self discipline, it's also the things that we do wrong. You know, there are drawbacks to not thinking in a self disciplined manner. You seen yourself? Hmm. Yeah, it's silly. Effective discipline brings joy. Now, for me, I like setting goals. I like to review my priorities, and I constantly think about ways to be more effective and more efficient. Hmm. Some people have no sense of direction and they lack productivity because of this. Yeah, self denial. Definitely. Definitely. And like I said, that's that going back to fulfilling that materialistic need is something lacking. So you feel the need to fill that void. And that self discipline spills over. It's not just a material thing, it spills over into your life. How you manage your home, how you raise your children, how you work, how you deal with people, how you work outside the home. Um, if you don't have self discipline, you basically, on a biblical basis, hmm, you basically are running amok. Hmm. Some people are highly disciplined and they do it joyfully. So when you are homeschooling, a lot of people discipline when it comes to weight loss and eating habits. True that. A lot of people that I see across social media, like I said, they're watching videos. Are you feeling nauseous? The nausea has eased up a lot. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said it's a mystery. I don't know what's going on. I have an idea. I'm getting old, y'all. Female issues, perimenopause. There's a lot, and actually, I need to get it done because somebody asked me months ago, and I told her I would get it out in a video, but I haven't yet. I just haven't had time. Women's health, and so I'm kind of a lot of stuff has been happening in the past couple of months, and I'm just trying to incorporate all of that into the video. So yeah, your body changes once you get past 40, 41. Your body just does not do things the way it used to. And I'm definitely, a lot of times, I'm conscious. Maybe you're cooking. It's been, I really can't, well, I'm not going to say I can't. I really try to pay attention. But I did get a lot of advice from my mom. And before I go too far into that, because there's some stuff that's cook in the oven. Yeah, I do use the oven, no microwave. Um, here's my train of thought. She, my mom was young when I lost her. She was only 47. She started going through menopause in her 30s, and it was because of something. And what? No. Okay, she she had a tubal ligation, and she told me about all of the after effects they don't tell you about years later. They just tell you to do it because that's population control. But in any case, she told me not to do it. Mom. Yes, the FedEx man is here. He will leave it at the door and I'll go get it. And watch they tell me somebody's at the door. He's gonna leave it. I know he is. I know what it is. See, he left. Um, it's Friday. But yeah, she told me not to do it because of the after effects and all the research I've done. You know, they don't tell you stuff. And that's why I never advocated. But it led to a lot of other issues. Yes, ma'am. You ready to get down? Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Yeah. Hey, for your family from the UK. Love you guys. Um. Yeah. Like I said, that's just something that I don't encourage anybody because it is dangerous. Um, birth control methods, unnatural birth control methods are dangerous. Just period. That's just my take. I know it's controversial, but this stuff has not been around long enough to, I don't know, it's just unnatural. It's just, you need to put that in the Most High's hands and go from there. You don't want foreign entities in your body. The stuff that, the hormones, the materials, all of that leads to is population control, and more people and more women end up dead trying to prevent something. Okay, so this is my take. Um, Anywho, but yeah, she started going through very early, and so I'm a product of my mother. The things are kind of mirror image, and I'm a lot older than her now, so I know it's not something that just suddenly started. I noticed the change some years back. Anyway, like I said, that's a whole nother video. You're gonna have to wait for some paper. Can you get that piece of paper right there? You can use the back of that. Or you really want to interrupt me, right? Here's a piece of paper right here. All right. Let me go back. Okay, so what I was saying is, those people that are, highly self-disciplined, they do it with joy. And what they do is they start with the end in mind. They come in with the benefit of self-discipline. And I can really say that is me. The end in mind when you give it to you on the homeschool front. Yes, ma'am. You don't need it. What do you need? Do you want one of my pieces of paper? One of these? Yeah. I see a lot of people struggling in the homeschool arena. The setbacks, the curriculum failing, the children failing. And when I say failing, they are just not grasping concepts. They are not wanting to work. All of those things boil down to how disciplined are you? Because if you are not disciplined, your children are not going to be disciplined. And again, that's not going back to doing. I'm not talking about your child does something wrong, you put them in timeout or you talk to them. Not that discipline. The thinking discipline. So if you don't think in a disciplined manner, everything you do is not going to reflect the way you want it. I have seen the result of discipline, my self discipline, as far as homeschooling, the um, the ups and downs, the journey, the successful, excuse me, child, in college. That is the end. That's reality. I always, she's not here, but she's on the phone or whatever, and it just she's away. She's in college. That is the end. And really, that's not the end for me. I'm still teaching. I'm still, doing what I need to do. I'm still mothering. But I was able to see her through to the end. And I have that in my grasp. So when I'm working with the little ones, I know what I'm doing every day. I know the benefit. Okay. So that's where my self discipline comes from. I have nothing else to think about but that. And I'm not running around here saying, "Oh, I have to be disciplined. I have to be disciplined." It's just how I live. And when you do it effectively, when you have that self discipline, it's going to be second nature, not something you have to try at. As far as the kids in school, if they see the future is promising, they will engage. Okay, a lot of times I see it and I hear it day to day, especially if I'm watching a vlog, and I'm constantly watching the same person. Um, I can see the attitudes and the behaviors. And again, I'm looking the same way as I was watching the people going to go buy furniture. I'm not looking so much as, oh, let me, entertainment wise, but I'm looking at how they discipline themselves to clothe themselves, but not their home. Okay. Not even saying that you need furniture. It's just, if that's what you're thinking, no, it's, you totally missed what I was saying. But I pick up on little things every day, and then every now and then they'll come back and say, "I don't understand why China was doing this and doing that," and I'm thinking, well, the other day I saw such and such and such. Did you see it? Obviously, they didn't see it, but yeah. So if they see that the future is promising, they will engage in that. Uh, Something I have written down. I wrote the scripture down. I have a scripture for you guys. Oh, it's about working together for Him. God's for the workers. 1 Corinthians 3:9, 2 Corinthians 6:1. You work together for that greater good, and that's what you should be putting, you know, in the way of schooling the children. You have to have that discipline and autonomy to show your children and model it while you school them. If you think homeschooling is something that you just do, okay, I'm not pointing fingers, but I see it all the time. Every year we get a whole new batch in the community of homeschool moms that come on, and no, I'm sorry, it's not them though. They have no idea, and of course, they I've done my research. I've watched videos for X amount of time, And I've already talked about how to watch the videos, what you need to look for, and things like that. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not looking for the right thing, and they don't even realize it. It's just a sleight of hand ignorance. Um, yeah, but in any case, they think it's just something that you do. It's not. Homeschooling is not for the faint of heart. You don't just decide, I'm going to homeschool, and it's something you just, oh, I'm just going to pull out this book and here. Mm-mm. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to have self-discipline. You have to. Because you're going to get that child that is going to question you. Why do I have to do this? And like I said, if you can give that child the end in the beginning, if you can show them the end, you won't have that battle. I can't really give answers to everybody and how to show them, because you have to have that self-discipline yourself. That I can't give you self-discipline. Okay, like I said, it's a growth process. It's something you have to sit down and think about. Okay, and the bad days, and I know this time of the year, everybody's thinking about spring break. So if you're going to take a spring break, I encourage you to just drop everything and really, really, really think about what's going on. Think about your discipline, everything from the way you go to sleep, wake up, take a shower, wash dishes, talk to people on the phone, talk to people out, going grocery shopping. How's your discipline? Put a check on it. Just clear your mind and try to renew your spirit, because you have to give that thinking, that model to that child so that they can learn to live in a disciplined manner. If your child is used to, I saw something recently where somebody said they had some little ones and they were tired of constantly repeating themselves, and it was along the lines of chores, and I don't know, they may or may not have been yelling. I cannot remember, but it was excessive, and they didn't know how to get the children to listen. And immediately I responded, because I just felt that I could see that mom going around the house yelling at the kids. Okay, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, because I was that person. I can still be that person. If you catch me on the wrong day or the wrong time, um, especially now with the hormones, yeah. But I could see her, and I just immediately went back to something, and I said, you know what, as a mom of 9 children, I could tell you right now, billowing out commands is not going to get anything done. The first 5 seconds, that child is going to jump, hear your tone of voice, and do this. It stops right there. And the problem is, I think they might have been 5 and 7. The kids were not disciplined thus far. You cannot make a child that age. suddenly become disciplined because they were taught in an undisciplined manner. The mother had no discipline because that's the way she reacted to things. If she had self-discipline, she would have reacted completely differently. It would have been more effective. No, we don't have a handbook for parenting. But again, you don't have to be a parent to have self-discipline. Anybody can have self-discipline. You get the person that gets up and exercises every day, the person that eats, healthy every day. It's a choice and it's a discipline. Even if you're somebody that eats healthy, if you're a vegetarian, you're the only vegetarian in the house. That's a discipline. Nobody's going to persuade you to change your mind, whether you're doing it for your health or you're doing it because you care about animals. It's a discipline. So, when back to what I was telling this mother, it's a disconnect, and she had to be more direct with the children. And you have to do this with teenagers as well. Instead of saying, go clean your room, you don't do that. I stopped doing that a long time ago because what I did was I listened to my kids. I sit down and talk to my kids and I listen and they tell me things and it's like, oh, really? My kids still tell me stuff today that might have happened. Some things I might have forgotten, but they tell me. I'm like, okay, I have my receptors on. But I would listen to what they said. And so I never told them, go clean your room, go clean the kitchen. Because to you, you know, as a discipline, what you want cleaned and how you want it clean. If I tell my kids go clean the kitchen, they might take a dish off the table and put it in the sink and call that clean. That's not. When I say clean the kitchen, I want the dishes washed. I want the counters cleaned off. I want the stove cleaned off. I want the floor swept. I want the floor mopped. I want the refrigerator wiped down. I want the cabinets wiped down. The stove wiped down. That's clean the kitchen. Dishes put away. But to them, that's not what they see, or that's not what they hear. And so that's why I said in the first couple seconds, you're going to lose them if you say, go do this. You're just billowing out these commands. They're not going to hear you. It's the same way we do when somebody is, another adult is coming at us the wrong way. If they're yelling at us or rude, we're going to turn a deaf ear. So what I said was, you need to tell them, take this shirt, put this shirt into this drawer. If you want it folded, fold this shirt and put this shirt into that drawer. Fold up those pants and put those pants into that drawer. Or hang up these pants on that hanger and hang it in the closet. Okay? No more middle. And yeah, you still have to do that with teenagers. Because once they get about 10, till she starts saying something about a chore chart or whatever, I said, I don't know if you guys remember the show Bernie Mac. We used to love Bernie Mac. And the kids didn't get it from this, but it was funny when we actually saw this happen. Um, we had the chore charts and things like that. I used chorebuster.net. Really neat. You can import all sorts of jobs and two of them can do the job together. You can put money on it and all kinds of stuff. So we had this online thing. We print the stuff out. One was on the refrigerator, and I think I had just my own. I don't know, when it got about 10 or something, the one on the refrigerator, somebody decided to, excuse me, I think I was at work, and somebody decided to tear the chore chart up. And so, I was sharing this with that mother. And yeah, it's funny, but what I was saying was things did not fall apart because they tore that chore chart up. It's because they knew at that point what was expected and they knew the consequence. Okay, because when kids get around 10, 11, 12, they start to rebel because they have come into their own, and they know what they can get away with. So you have to get a hold of it really soon. You have to discipline yourself really soon, because school, the older they get, the more it changes. Like I said, if you're having a battle now with little ones not wanting to do the work or questioning you why, what's going to happen once they become teenagers? What are you going to do? Hold them down to make them do their work? Many of you are in a state where you have to answer to somebody. Then what? So, like I said, I explained to her that things didn't fall apart because they knew you're going to fall asleep. Yeah. So, Mom, everybody's asleep. Okay. Well, you can go to sleep. So, I ultimately am praying that she was able to sit down and just kind of evaluate things and reset, and just think about how everybody's asleep. Think about how we do things and how it, reflects on the children. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Yeah, our let me read this. If a child, let's see, no, let me go back up here. If there's no benefit, okay, if you think homeschooling is just something you do, then there's not going to be a benefit, because that's how you're going to have that attitude. You won't be disciplined to do anything. When the child says they don't want to do the work, you're going to eventually they're going to wear you out and you will give up. And then you may throw in excuses like, oh, the curriculum wasn't working, oh, it was this, oh, it was that, when that's really not it. So you're going to have that disconnect between you as a teacher and the child as a student. Lots of time and effort must be put in without drudgery. If a child feels like no autonomy, they will feel like you're just billing orders, and like I said, they're just going to disengage in learning. Hey, Mimi, um, they're going to disengage. You want to focus on joy when you school your children, and that depends on seeing the choices now and later on. Homeschooling is a gateway to the pursuit of a future that we long for in our children. When our mind sees our role this way of thinking, we begin to model this. So, like I said, I don't have a problem staying on track um, with losing focus because I see the end. And that's how I tackle anything. I see the end. I have talked about writing. I'm in the process of writing a book and lots of stuff going on all the time. But I can so see the end. There's so many times where I have wanted to give up because of just all the interruptions and things like that. But I can see the end. I have literally written everything in my head, and I just can't. I can't give up. It's just I can't. It's just something in me. It's that discipline. Just says don't give up. I can't. Scroll to the beginning. Okay, and definitely watch the video. That way you can catch up. Um, let's see. What else do I have? A little bit of notes. On a personal note, myself being debt free helps me to have discipline. What are you doing on the table? Each time I go to the store or I'm looking at homeschool material, I look at it with, I have certain things in mind. Um, it's my decision, and I make sure I am not influenced um, by everyone else. You know, biblically, that is wrong. You are, you have to, like I said in Hebrews 5 and 14, watch what? But solid food is for the mature who, because of practice, have their senses trained to discern good and evil. Following other people are that's evil. You know, you let somebody else decide what you need to have. That's not biblically correct. Okay. And so when I think about buying things, um, yeah, I want to make sure it's not going to put me in debt. I want to make sure if it is a need or a want. Okay. When we're going to buy furniture, obviously it's going to be a need. I'm not just going to go buy furniture just because. In fact, my daughter just called me the other day about furniture. She is getting an apartment in the summer, and she got a job, and she needed furniture for this apartment. She has to move off campus, and she's probably going to stay in the apartment for the rest of the her school duration. She graduates 2018, and then she wants to teach at the university, so she's probably just going to stay there. But she didn't want to spend a lot of money, and then she was asking me, would it be tacky to have two full time? Excuse me. And I told her no. If her friend or whatever company she has coming cared about that, then they would be buying her furniture. It's not that serious, but she already knew. She was trying to go about it the cheapest way, because we were saying a futon for her bed and a futon for her living area, and then she needed a table and somewhere to put her clothes. So of course I told her to get, the plastic drawers. Don't get anything that's not very disposable. And if she has to move, she can sell it right away and not take a loss. So, yeah, don't go out and try to buy all this stuff. And then I thought, check Craigslist and all that. And then I said, maybe you might want to think about the rent to own. It would give her another line of credit. She will be renting this apartment, so that will kind of give her a good rental history in a couple different places. So I said it may not be the most economical way, but then she could get a couple more things that she may not be able to find and have to go ahead and buy anyway. I don't know. She may want some bookshelves or something like that and can't find them on the cheap. She does not have a car, so that's one of her barriers. She cannot. Things have to be delivered to her, so it's a little more convenient to do it that way. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at if things are, if I want them or if I need them, how is it needed? I have to think about the end. How is this going to benefit us or benefit the kids if I buy this? I can fill up a cart or a wish list on eBay, on Amazon, on whatever. That stuff will sit there for I don't know how long because really I didn't want it. I just saw it and I had to think about it. It didn't really benefit long term. Check. I also think about when I will use it. You know, it's a lot of times those dollar store impulse purchases. You see the stuff or you see somebody, oh, I have to go get this. When are you really going to use it now? Can it wait? Is it something that'll be there later? A lot of my things on eBay, Amazon, or whatever are still in my cart because I really don't need them right now. I just go find them. And then sometimes when I go, usually I go through once a month and just start cleaning things out. And I find that a lot of things I don't end up needing after all. Okay. So I didn't go waste that money. Uh, I want my choices to always reflect my self discipline. And I like to, it's that little voice. Hold on. That little small voice that says, well done, servant. You want to give me a hug? Yeah. Okay, give me a hug. I like the Most High to definitely be proud. I will get you one in a few minutes. Um, and knowing that I valued the word, I think that really speaks volumes. Um, I don't really want to get into salvation, but yeah, is it really worth it to just not have that discipline? That's true. I'm trying to be a reflection. Me too. I have stuff in my purse. Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I see somebody, it's just as little as handwriting. I saw handwriting curriculum recently, and I just thought to myself, that was the handwriting curriculum I chose. I know many of you all asked what I use, and I opted out because I saw that they were okay. I do my own little, in fact, I have something handy, but I do my own little worksheets, so I really didn't need anything solid other than the little basic. I think I might have one up here. Yeah, now I can't find it. I don't know, the little dollar workbooks from Target or whatever. The little handwriting stuff is fine, but I have my own things that I create. In fact, that's what I was sharing the other day on Instagram. I have books all over the place. I think I might have vlogged that too. I don't know. But things like this, you generate your own worksheets. So this is what I use. But when I saw that curriculum, I let her know that that was one of my choices. And it was my top choice after I had done all my research. Because basically, I didn't really see anybody using it. It was a couple years ago. I saw somebody, but all I could see these days is handwriting without tears. So, not saying this is bad, but it's a trickle down. One person sees the video, and then the next person, and then they run and buy it. And do I prepare the lessons daily, weeks ahead? Do I have a video on the handwriting? No, I don't. I can share. I don't think I put that footage up. I think the last thing I did was the day in the life, and I don't think I shared that because this just happened. See, I was sick, and I can't remember what I vlogged. Um, but I think I will throw that in somewhere soon. But no, what I was doing was pulling information like from poetry books. Yeah, I haven't shared it because I said it's March and somebody's going to say, wait a minute, aren't those all African American books on the table? And didn't you just tell us? So it was March when I pulled that stuff out. So I haven't shared that video yet or that vlog yet. I was looking through different books and pulling out poetry, paragraphs, things that stuck out that they can use for, now these are more or less handwriting. You can generate them to where they can, if they're writing well, they can just do copy work. So some of it is copy work. Some of it is for recitation. This is going in their Bible journal, and I need to share those. Yes, ma'am. Just a second. You are itching for something, right? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Can I entice you with this? Yeah. Here. Have a dum dum. So we give her a dum dum. Everybody's asleep. I don't know why she's not asleep. Because she was up last night coughing. So, as far as planning that type of things, I always have them doing handwriting, something in the way of handwriting. They, whether it's Bible scriptures, that stuff goes into their notebook. And so it's usually just a page a day. And if not, they'll grab one of the little dollar workbooks and do the little handwriting stuff in there. I try not to make it something that is a burden on them because I see if I say, okay, you have to sit down and you have to do this, they don't want to do it. But if I just leave them alone, then they'll do it. If I just leave it on the table, oh, let's write this. What is this? They want to know because each thing that I make is different. So they want to learn what it is. Thank you. You want to go put it in the trash? They want to read and learn about whatever it is I have them copy. Um, so no, I don't have a whole lot of stuff ahead of time because it kind of just goes on their ability to to be able to write. I am just really focusing on the writing. But like I said, some of it is memory work and It may be a paragraph, but I only let them do a sentence a day that they're writing so that they can remember from day to day. So over the course of the week, they will have learned the entire paragraph or verse or whatever it is. So I am working on that. Hopefully I will be able to share. I don't know how they'll do, but maybe they want to present whatever it is from this point on, because there's a lot of stuff we've already been doing, and it's based on whether or not they want to share. Other than that, the lessons, I did the majority of my prep work in the beginning of the year, and everything went into my lesson plan finder. I have not had to completely refill this in in a very long time, and it's because we have different, we have the workbooks, and so between the actual lessons that I give them just in talking and the written lessons and the workbooks, the skills workbooks, we've had enough to keep us busy. And usually at the end of the week, I don't know if I shared on Sunday. I think I left that out of this day in the life. I don't even know. But I did film me filling some folders, so I might have to throw that into another vlog. Just some sideboards, some things that you all don't normally see. I try to remember. I have to discipline myself that way to throw that stuff in the vlogs because it may be helpful. I don't know, but I just kind of thought it wasn't that important to share in a vlog. But then again, it's just me. So I've been sharing those little things. Usually on Sunday is when I do things like that. I get up and try to see whatever's in the workbook and find whatever I have, whether it's something I pulled together a long time ago, something I have in a file, and I will pull those things out and get those ready so that we can use those things during the week. But I try not to prepare way ahead of time because we cannot we can't keep the schedule. Just there's too much stuff going on. Like I said, if we get sick, I get sick, that will throw off my schedule completely. So I like to have a lot, and meaning I did print up a good 6 weeks worth of work. That's so I wouldn't run out of things, and so that everything was there, and I didn't have to have anybody waiting on things. But when I give it to them, I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't schedule it. I just give it to them, so I can have a year's worth. Like I've been already pulling together stuff for the next school year, which kind of already started. But I've been pulling, more stuff together for later on down the road that may be the end of the year, like December, just because I have the time. So every little bit helps me. So whenever I feel that they're ready for that material, I give it to them. I don't wait and say, well, yesterday you were doing this, you can't do this. I just give it to them because they amaze me sometimes. A whole lot of they don't need a whole lot of instruction. Do I teach daily? I do. I do. But today's one of those days that obviously is out of whack, and so it'll be this evening before we get back on track. Um, typically, if I were to put a time on it, 10 to 3 is typically how long we are doing school. And that's because I'm going through rotations with everybody, making sure, and that means I may spend 45 minutes on one of them with just reading. So that's why it takes so long. So if I'm helping like the two middle ones, that's 2 hours worth of reading right there. And so we still have to do spelling, we have to do math. Um, I try to put math together. Everybody do math together. That doesn't always happen. But sometimes they just somebody may not cooperate, and they have to. I have to issue one of these, and so they leave the room, and I have to keep going. And so that means that person did not get that lesson, and I have to go back in and teach it. So, yeah, it's pretty much between 10 and 3. And they do get a lunch break, and we pick back up. But what I do is I focus each day on one thing. Instead of trying to do every subject every day, I focus. Usually Mondays, Sundays, I will pick something fairly easily. We do Bible, we do a craft, we may do a little bit of science. I try to keep science for Fridays, but Mondays we will either start with reading or we will start with math, because those two things take the longest. It's not that they take longer to learn. In their work text is usually 10 pages. So I have to space it out. So we have to start, um, pretty good. And I try to alternate between the two. And so the next day, whichever one we started with, we will pick up on the next one the next day and throw in another. We'll do spelling. And some days we may hit everything. I don't know. Recently I shared, or maybe I haven't. I don't know if that footage is out yet. It was 1:30. I think I shared on Instagram. We had done 3 subjects, and the only thing we do fables every day. We will read 2 or 3 fables, and I hadn't read the fable, and they were waiting on purpose for that. But we had done everything, and it was 1:30, and we did a lot. It wasn't just one thing, one page of something for each thing. We done a lot, and I think we started early that day. So it just depends on the day, but generally between 10 and 3, we are hard and fast at school. For toddlers, I would say no more than 15 minutes per age. So, like my 4-year-old, she's doing kindergarten work, but she's the one that takes the breaks the most often. She is a 3-page child. Whatever I give her, she's going to do 3 pages at a time, and that's it. But she's always the first one in here ready to work. She's always the last one to leave. She's the first one to come back in after a break, but she's only doing 3 pages at a time. So she gets that 3 pages done in a couple minutes and she's out the door. And I let her go because she does not want to sit, and there's really no need. I can get across what I need to do in that 3 minutes, or make that 3 pages 3 minutes. And she's got it. And the same thing with the little one. More often than not, you'll hear her saying, I don't want to do school. Um, and she comes in here all times of the day and night. That's why I always have her in the vlogs, because she'll just be in here when I'm in here and we're not even doing school. And that's usually when I am just putting together things or I'm researching things like that. That's what I'm doing in my downtime. But she'll be in here. Oh, I want to color this. I want to do that. And the other day, I had the Hooked on Phonics book, and she was bringing me the tape recorder. We have to get the tape recorder, she was saying. And I was just showing her the book. And she said, no, we have to get the tape recorder. So, yeah, we're trying to read. She's identifying several words, and I was contemplating if I wanted to use Hooked on Phonics with her or not, or try something else. Still working on a phonics video, but I've just come to the conclusion that she has already recognized Hooked on Phonics, and I'm just going to go with Hooked on Phonics. So I'm going to try to share how I am teaching her with that. But she is the one that is coming to me saying, I want you to do this. I'm partly trying to stall teaching her how to read. And, I don't teach them how to read, but teaching them how to learn because she's my last one. It's bittersweet. So it's like, maybe we can just hold on till you get 4 or 5. I don't care. But, yeah, I think she's determined and she's going to do it whether I help her or not. I shared the other day on Instagram, she had the book. She's telling me she's on chapter 2. And I'm like, you reading my book? So she is telling me that she is determined to do this. I don't make her sit any longer than the 4-year-old. And most of the time, she has more patience than the 4-year-old. She'll sit here an hour, hour and a half. I want to do more. But typically, like I said, no more than 15 minutes per age is all they can handle. So, I will definitely share the things that I use for handwriting in a upcoming video and or a vlog. And if there's question, then I'll go into more detail. But if I don't see the questions, I won't really go into it. It'll just more or less be showing you what it is they do. And yeah, just looking over my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. But hopefully this was a message that you all have something to take away from in a positive manner. I try to be as encouraging, motivational, and inspiring as I can um, to you all. But yeah, self-discipline, that's just, like I said, that's something I can't really, for me, it's a higher calling. I hear a lot about people saying homeschooling is their calling, but for some, it's not really because they just do it just because they have reasons. And I don't know if I've fully shared, I don't know if anybody's ever asked why I chose homeschool. I know I shared bits and pieces, but I've never actually done a sit down video. I think a lot of things are like that because nobody really comes right out and asks. Um, but yeah, when you sit down and really think about it, Hi, thank you for joining me and us. Um, you have to have a purpose when you say it's your calling, and it's definitely a discipline. And what I see is people come in homeschooling. Oh, I did all my research and I did all that, but then in a couple of months, they're asking different people all over the place. How do you do this? How do you clean the house? What do you do with the little kids? How do you get dinner done? How do you do the laundry? You know what? That year you spent researching homeschooling, you have to get your house in order. And I talked about that some years ago. That's the first thing you need to do before you even consider homeschooling. Get your house in order. And that's a discipline. And I mean, clean, purge, get a schedule, get a routine, get everything in order. Because if that's not in order, you won't, that's how you think. And that's how you will do. And you will do the same thing in homeschooling. You'll be all over the place. So, yeah, it's not something that you just come in and saw, so and so on the video because it looked neat, it looked fun. It's not always fun and it's not always neat. And you guys know that. That's why I show everything, not just the good, not just the bad, the in between, the getting from point A to point B, the aha moments, because those are the ones that really matter. Those are what everybody really wants to see. It does look good to see, um, what's out there and things like that because you get curious and you might be in a place where you can't, get out. And so when somebody shares something, it's like, oh, I get to see, something new. But yeah, you have to definitely do some soul searching if you say that you were called to homeschool. If you were called, you are, I think you already have some sort of discipline and you just roll with things as they fall, whether they're good or bad. So let me see. For those of you that just joined, I do encourage you to go back and watch. There are a couple of questions from you all, but go back and watch this in its entirety because it wasn't just a basic chat this time, and just something I had on my heart to share with you all. And basically, I started off with discipline. There's a difference in thinking self-discipline versus doing. Okay, we often think of self-discipline as when we act correctly, like if we're routinely having a quiet hour, at the same time every day, or something like that. We think that is discipline, but biblically, that's not. You think biblically, self-discipline is about the way you think. You have to condition your mind to be self-disciplined. I had no intention of homeschooling. I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. I thought I was going to get married, be a nurse, follow the American dream. Amen for that. Yeah, I've been to the You know, I could go a lot longer, but like I said, I'm on a time limit. I have to get these phone calls out because the phone's going to start ringing. The FedEx man left my packages. But yeah, discipline is what got me through life. You all know I was married to my older children's father first 15 years. Discipline. And I'm not saying that everything was bad. There were situations around it um, that led to the demise, and it was healthy. There was not anything unhealthy, really, but we grew from the ground up, and that was because we had discipline. We had self discipline, and we were disciplined as a family. And that is still how we are today. Um, the second time around, we have we have discipline, and that just radiates to the children. You know, my kids know. Like I say, your kids know what they can get away with, and they feel you out. They know if I'm in here on a computer certain times. Oh, you're working. You know, they know that that is something that I'm doing. I keep that habit, and they know how they can and conduct themselves during that time, and so they don't expect anything else, and I don't expect anything else from them. Um, with that being said, I appreciate you all, and hopefully I will be able to take a break and put together some footage of this week. 'Cause I think that's what's left. That's what I was looking at the other day. Footage of this week that I have not released, and I think I still have some from, I know I do, from last month that I have not put together. But I will get it together somehow. And Sunday, yeah, most high willing, I will be back. I will try to be back on time, whatever time I schedule it for. And I say that with flexibility. You all know anything can happen, but that's my plan to come back Sunday. I don't know if I will have anything in mind. If any comments come through that spark my interest that I want to address, I may have that as a topic. If you all have any suggestions, um, just let me know. Otherwise, shalom. I will see you all on Sunday. Have a good day. Hope you feel better. Have some searching to do. Yeah. I pray you all have strength of discernment